Welcome back to another Shadowverse Worlds Beyond video. And today, I'm going to show you guys the decks that I prepared for the upcoming makeup tournament of the Shadowverse Open, SVO for short. So if you guys don't know and you want some context, you can watch the video that I posted the other like few days ago where I talked about the initial disaster that was SVO kickoff number 1. So yeah, like we're not gonna talk about that today though. We're all goods now. What we are going to do today is show you guys what I prepared for the makeup tournament that they recently just announced. Right? Just a PSA by the way, everybody, the deck registration is less than 24 hours as of the uploading of this video. So get your decks ready, right? And with that said, deck number 1 that I prepared is gonna be Sword. Here is the deck. Don't worry, all of the decks will have links down below in the description. The type of deck that I went with, like a Sword, is a deck that didn't have any dogs, but it does have Field Owl, so it has like a form of removal against Aningrea. I added Grimnir like as a one-off instead of a 2 because like the crest is just a bonus. I think if we roll into it, we roll into it, but if we don't, the game is still playable, right? It's also a nice stat, 3 mana 2/3 ward. It might be good into aggro. I value the core package more of the mid-range like Sword, so I have like most of the things that I value more on 3, and anything that might break my hand I put at 2, right? Albert and Odin are both at 2, and Urius will be on 1. And Urius, I brought Urius here mostly for the mirror. If you want to target Sword, I think Urius is a better card to put. If you want to target Rune, I think Tentacle might be a better tech card for that. So yeah, those are just my thoughts on like how to approach Sword for the tournament. And next up, we have Mid-Range Abyss. Right, Mid-Range Abyss is one of my favorite decks this set, though I think I kind of like chop sueyed my deck. And there's like a lot of reasons why. Because of aggro. Initially, this deck had like 3 Field Owls, then 3 Minnow, and then the rest were pretty standard times 3 stuff. But I started to realize that the lines that I lose to are typically lines where either Sword is curving me, or Forest is curving me, or Aggro Abyss is literally just being Aggro Abyss. So, what I recently discovered is Soiree is actually good with Apollo because it turns the ghost, like you can do a 4 turn, like a turn 4 like Apollo ghost turn if you want. You can do like the skeleton plus Apollo fanfare to kill a 2/2. There's a lot of things that you can do with Apollo in the early game, and it's not really a bad card into the late game because you can pull off stuff like Apollo plus Argavi, right? You thin the board and then you clear with Argavi, stuff like that. You can still do. You can also do like stuff with Grimnir, right? Suddenly, like Apollo turns into a 4 damage AoE if you have the Grimnir crest. It's really good, right? And Grimnir is just overall good, I think, to have as a bonus card, like a tech card bonus card, because like a lot of the matchups are gonna be very token based, and one of the reasons why is because people are playing wider, I've noticed, because of Odin. And speaking of Odin, this deck doesn't even run Odin, and the reason why is because I'm not really playing towards one-tapping somebody with a Serbi and putting all my eggs into Serbi. I want to be able to stall out the game a little bit and force and bait out value, since I have the ability to heal. Now you might be, oh, you're gonna die to Rune. Yes, but you can also play aggressively into Rune to force out their super evolves, and if you manage to do so with the power of Serbi, the thing that literally hard carries this entire craft, then yeah, you might just be able to pull it off. I do think Rune is favored, especially into this deck that I brought, but against Sword and Forest, I think I have a shot. Yeah, I think I have a shot against them, right? I run Ortus for the Aggro Abyss opener. It's really hard to deal with, right? Also, the Quick Blader opener is really hard to deal with, so I run Ortus. I run 1 copy of Ceres. You are not supposed to run multiple copies of her. I just put her there as a tech card for emergency healing, or like something that's really good into aggro abyss, right? Is really good into aggro abyss, and it's also good into anything that's trying to bum rush you with Odin into an 8 drop. That's for sure, right? Because you can do this thing where you like super evolve her with Olivia, or you super evolve her by yourself, and then suddenly they're off by 2 damage to catch lethal on you. And if you manage to stall out the game towards Servi and like in Setsu, you're set. Your late game is set. So yeah, that's what I brought for Abyss. I think I might tweak this deck one more time. I have been tweaking this deck for 3 days already, but so far I've been getting like awesome results with this one, right? Let's see what it can do at the tournament. And I also made Forest in Portal, though I think I won't be playing Forest, that's for sure. Like even then, like I'll show you guys the deck anyway. So I went with a very consistent version that has Grasshopper and Limaga as tech cards. I run 3 Tamers instead of 2 because I find it easier to manage my hand if I run Tamer instead of Titania. Right, Titania is better though into Norman turns, and like into anything with barrier is really good into. So like I might reconsider that, but for now I would rather have like a vanilla consistent. Forest is, I would say, the strongest pick right now, just because they can win every matchup, maybe except Haven. Right, Haven can win actually, like you can beat Haven actually if they don't draw the exact curve that counters Forest. But yeah, besides that curve that counters Forest, I think they're practically unstoppable if they get the cards. So yeah, that's why I made a deck just in case, but I'm probably not gonna play it. Now, the last one is Portal. Alright, so Portal, I decided to remove the early game puppet cards, and instead I typed in Electric Whiplash, and the reason for that is because it's pretty darn good into aggro and fairy, and it also gives me a remembrance gear, which means I could make that into a 1/5 ward. I really like doing this against aggro like people, because suddenly it's a 1/5 ward. Like there's not a lot of stuff that delete this. The only thing that deletes this is probably like a Valse or a Bane removal. So if I deemed it that, oh, you don't have this, let's say you're aggro Abyss, then you get shut down by this. You heal, like you basically get a lot of HP, like just by surviving all those attacks in the early game. I went for 1 copy of Cannon specifically for the sword matchup, because if I'm gonna play Portal, I'm probably playing it into sword. And I might think about bumping it up to 2, but for now, I'm okay with this list. Running 2 Orcus is fine, right? It's all consistent. And yeah, like against Abyss, you probably just want to get the Carnelia ASAP. And yeah, those are the decks that I made. All of the decks will be down in this description down below. I will now showcase some gameplay of the mid-range Abyss deck that I just showed you. And yeah, like I'm gonna try to play these decks on stream later, on twitch.tv/LNeroTV, or over here in this channel on YouTube if you guys want to see that live later. I'm probably gonna go to sleep now, and with that said, yep, I just came here to, you know, fulfill my promise to show you guys the decks that I've been working on. And yeah, well, you guys have a nice day and enjoy the gameplay footage, everybody. I'm gonna see ya in the next one. Bye bye.
呼んだのあなた？この次元狭苦しいわね。もっと可愛くならなくちゃ。
ラブ&ピースを届けっか。
褒めてよ。クレア、行こう。うん、どこまでも。 もっと自由に。負けられないから私。
あちち
神を剥ぐ、悪魔を吊るせ。
油断した。知恵の火種。
次の狩り。
許さない。いただきます。
安らかに。
世界を否定しぶっ壊すわよ。時をも超えて。こんなはずじゃ。でもめげない。
ラブピースを届けっか。
面をかぶるは良き若者っと。
パパ、ママ。
我が星が刻すは楽天。
イエーイ、楽しい。極みの果て。雑魚は失せろよ。終わらせてあげる。てめえの面を吹き飛ばす。
あとは任せた。
あちち
死はやまない。
冥界の番犬が遊んであげる。100万燃やすわ。逃げるわ。ルナもやる。黒焦げになりなさい。ぶっ飛ばすわ。ぶっ飛ぶわん。さゆた。人。や。イエーイ、楽しい。
金より求めし原石よ。
もうダメです。もっと自由に。
無限の反応、今ここに。
そんなのあり？至るは地の奥、そこの底。
面をかぶるは良き若者っと。
ボス、お元気ですか？
壊れましたか。
それ。イエーイ、楽しい。逃げるわ。極みの果て。雑魚は失せろよ。
あとは任せた。
冥界の番犬が遊んであげる。100万燃やすわ。逃げるわ。怖いことしないで。黒焦げになりなさい。ぶっ飛ぶわん。ぶっ飛ばすわ。いただきます。とたゆた。
門を開け。単なる逆とよ。
超越の時。渡りましょう。面をかぶるこの私。そんなのあり？
氷獄は天をも罰す。氷獄は天をも罰す。
安らかに。
許さない。
死はやまない。
許さない。あっちゃー。ルナを呼んだのあなた？
人雷がごとく駆け抜ける。
ピクニック日和ですね。まあこれも仕事なので。美麗なるプリム様。いた。
ラブピースを届けっか。
帰りましょう。満足です。ピクニック日和ですね。美麗なるプリム様。パパ、ママ。
俺が眩しすぎるって。
どうか使ってください。満足です。怖いやつは下がってな。
平和を勝ち取る。
おいこっちに。
ルナもや
もう死なない。
るやるじゃねえか。
撃滅と壊滅を昭和せよ。
雷撃を
なれ
鋼の忠誠を。
状況開始。
平気だ。
あちち
至るは地の奥、そこの底。ボス、お元気ですか？怖いことしないで。欲しがりさんですね。
鳴らされた。
公式
私についてきなさい。ピクニック日和ですね。
雷を刃に。
お茶菓子もありますよ。それではプレイにて始まり。渡りましょう。
ラブピースを届けっか。
冥界の番犬が遊んであげる。100万燃やすわ。帰りましょう。パパ、ママ。黒焦げになりなさい。ぶっ飛ぶわん。絶対ですわ。
切り刻めきらめきの
鋼の
刃
忠
くらえ。
誠を。落ちよ万来。
闇を打つための礎となる。
そんなのあり？逃げるわ。やばいわ。
あちち
冥界の番犬が遊んであげる。100万燃やすわ。逃げるわ。
見事な腕前だ。